Hello everybody and welcome back to World Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight I have died and woke up in potato salad. You're not going to believe this one, folks. I struggle to believe this one and I lived it. Where do we begin? Oh yes, we're in the Jean Bart. What could go wrong, right? We've got 69,000 hit points. Nice. And you're not going to believe the sheer incompetence on display during this game. But there's also going to be some ridiculous moments, and I hope that you guys are ready for those as well. Including, I don't want to toot my own horn or anything, but probably my best shot I've ever made. Twice. So, yeah, get ready for those as well. Wait, Spartan's saying this is the best shot he's ever made? I know! I don't lie to you guys. You guys know this by now. I tell the truth. The whole truth. Nothing but the truth. If I'm wrong, that doesn't make it not the truth. It's just, I'm wrong. That happens. But, I don't purposefully mislead anybody. Ever. I do my best to make sure that I'm always honest with everybody. That goes in-game, out-of-game. You guys know me. I am an open book. Alright? Sleeves are rolled up. Ain't nothing hiding in there. Other than my arms from working out, you know. Trust me, they're not impressive. But anyway, we're gonna go to the right side. We spawned on Greece. It's like it's meant to be, you know. You get me on Greece. It's kind of like my home state, right? It's basically Ohio. But right off the bat, we got a broadside Massachusetts, just begging for it. So we take the shot, and Jean Bart is just salivating, right? It's like, oh, okay. Not a bad result, but not what I was looking for. I'll be real honest. And then, of course, we're about to reload, and I was thinking about using my reload booster, but I didn't. I was like, nah, I don't think I will. I think I'll hold on to... God bless... Oh, never mind. He's back! Fire the guns! Oh, okay. All right. I see you, Jean Bart. That's going to sting. Ouch. Was that the best shot you've ever seen? No, it's not even close. Don't worry, that's to come much later. But we will have plenty of goobers between now and... Really? Now, I want you to pay attention to this Jaeger. This Jaeger is the most clueless Jaeger I have ever seen in my life. There are two destroyers on the enemy team. One is USS Black. The other is an Asasio. Jaeger is fully capable of gunning down one of those. And it's not the USS Black. Now, he has no way of knowing which one it is in this cap. Oh, look. Dum-dum number 1. Actually, this would be number 2 at this point. So we already had the broadside Massachusetts, who just kept sailing broadside. And now we've got the Atlanta, who had the best intentions. I'll give him credit, he at least tried. But unfortunately, he wastes his radar on the Asasio that he couldn't spot because he's hiding behind an island. And even if he had spotted him, he probably wouldn't have been able to shoot him because right at the end, he did spot him, but he couldn't shoot him. If you're going to radar when you can actually use it. Or when you can actually, take advantage of it. Now, here we've got a Surrey out here just begging for it, full broadside. I am, again, salivating, folks. Now, I know there's a destroyer in front of me. I aimed at a little bit high, hoping for the best, and, of course, most of the shells did not touch the target. Now, Dum-Dum number 1 is back, and he is still broadside and shooting HE out of a Massachusetts. Tell me you don't know what you're doing without telling me you don't know what you're doing. Now, probably not the brightest thing in the world for me to go ahead and go for this shot on the Massachusetts, knowing that the destroyer is here, and knowing that the Asasio does get a reload booster on his torpedo. So notice that I don't put the flood out right away. First of all, floods aren't nearly as bad as they used to be, at least not a single flood. And we know with all of the fire, look at this, double fired and a flood. Okay, we gotta put that out. We'll be hemorrhaging health like crazy. Now, because we knew the destroyer was close, we went ahead and loaded up HE after firing the AP salvo at the Massachusetts. Now, I want you to point out that Dum-Dum number 2 has just now went from where he was, where he could potentially be useful, to going all the way across to the other side of the island, and now he is spamming the Massachusetts. Hence the reason I don't care about the Massachusetts. I am requesting support for the Asasio, but our cruiser is in no place to be useful. Now, as we get shots on this Sasasio, like, we are just getting ruined with RNG. This is why I say it should... this is why, more often than not, I just load AP against destroyers. Because my shells don't get absorbed by everything, okay? My shells simply do damage. Yeah, it's only overpen damage ever against the destroyer, but still. I mean, on this battleship, that's what, 1,100 damage per shell? Like, we would have killed him by now. It's usually a guaranteed 2-shot kill on a destroyer with a battleship using armor piercing. But here we have shot this Sasasio, what, 4 times now? 3 times? And he's still alive. Yeah, sure, he's double fired, and it's perma-double. We take a shot, and then Jean Bart says, go f yourself once again. 8 rounds, point blank, on a broadside destroyer, and we leave him with just enough to get away. Now, as you can see, we have broken this man's torpedo tubes repeatedly, but they have never been incapacitated completely. They just keep getting knocked out, right? Which resets his reload, which is great, but for all I know, he could still have a reload booster, so we got to get rid of him. And that's when we go ahead and load up the armor piercing to get rid of the Iowa, who's right in front of us. Now, I got to give a little bit of credit to this Iowa. He initially looks like a tater, okay? But pay attention, he's actually going to angle. So I give credit where credit is due. He's not a complete dum-dum, right? Now, that being said, he's about to get a lesson in just what it's like when you do put yourself in a disadvantage in the Iowa. He has to bow tank me. If he doesn't, he dies. He knows this. Now, look, I'm paying attention to Borodino right now because he's broadside to me on the map, mostly. So if I can get a shot over the island, I know that I can potentially get rid of him. Unfortunately, I can't. So back to the Iowa it is. He takes a shot at us, we take a shot at him. He does no damage, we do lots of damage. And we incapacitate a turret. Now, this is where the Jaeger's actually going to manage to score some torpedoes. Now, I will say this. It's Jaeger torps. They don't really hurt a whole lot, but if you take enough of them, they do start to sting a little bit. Now, he knocks out one of my guns, but he doesn't get both, which means I'm about to get one loaded, and we clap him one more time, and the Jaeger manages to finish him off with the torpedo. So, that is the end of the usefulness of this Jaeger. There are 2 people left, and we have still not seen the best shot that I've ever made. Hello, Borodino. How are you doing? Remember what I said about a Borodino being broadside to us on the map? This is where... oh, and then he started reversing. Now, I want you to pay attention. 12.5, right, folks? 12.3. Okay, we citadeled him with that second shot. I want you to pay attention to this next couple of shots. Watch this. Now, I'm not going to lie. In the moment, I didn't look where he was at. But I knew he was around 12 kilometers. So I'm like, okay, we'll give it a little over 12. Bonk. Oh, we see him. Fire the gun! And, wait for it. Got him. How's that for blind firing, folks? Not too shabby. Does that qualify as one of my best shots I've ever made? I think so. Now, I want you to pay attention to what I do next. Now, this, I'm not going to lie, this next moment, probably not my best in this match. I'm trying to figure out where the destroyer's at, right? I still have a reload booster, so I feel pretty confident that I can take out a destroyer. You can see that I see torpedoes over there against the Vanguard, and the Iowa is bravely running away. I want you guys to pay attention to these guys, and not just them, but also our Jaeger, okay? The Jaeger is going to show a prime example of A, not understanding what's going on, okay? And B, not being able to anticipate what somebody's doing, okay? Now, maybe I could have helped him out a little bit better in the match, but we'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, given the fact that I saw torpedoes headed towards the Vanguard, I assumed that the destroyer is this way, instead of going to the right side of the map and trying to head him off over there, right? He's already got that cap, and these 2 healthy battleships are a very, very hard target to, like, pass on if you're a destroyer captain. Now, if you're the destroyer captain, you're 1 versus, what, 6 now? Okay? You're down 2 caps. You're not going to win this match by waiting for your torps to reload. I'm sorry. You're just not. You need to be a little bit more proactive. And when you got a Vanguard out here that is very low health, you could have easily been dealing with him. It was just the Vanguard, and this Iowa was running away, right? So, if you can't as we demonstrated yesterday, if you can't trust yourself in a 1v1 mostly scenario as a destroyer versus a battleship, then you probably shouldn't play the destroyer. Alright? Now you're in a gunboat destroyer that takes forever to reload, torps, and you have a vanguard out here who's relatively low health. You should be pretty aggressive in this scenario, right? Because otherwise you're just going to lose. Now, as you can see, I know the direction that he's in based on the fact that when I came around the corner, when I got spotted. Okay, these are little cues that you can use to kind of put yourself in a better position. Now, as you can see, we got torpedoes going towards this Iowa, and also out on the Vanguard. So once again, he splits his torpedoes up to go for 2 different targets. I don't hate it, but at the same time, you need to be getting rid of people in this scenario. And this guy played an otherwise relatively good game, okay? I'm not hating on this guy, okay? I don't want you guys thinking that. He played a good game. He ends up, I believe, top of his team. So you can't really blame him for the loss. However, in the end scenario here, again, you got to be aggressive. You simply cannot wait for everybody to come together. Now, it ends up working out in his favor for some of it because he does eventually end up killing this Vanguard. But look how much time has expired in the time it has taken him to do so. Now you can see torpedoes spotted off to our right. So once again, these are the times that you need to be turning. But I'm just heading towards the island because that's where I thought. I didn't see those torps in the moment, right? Like I'm just assuming if I'm the destroyer, I'm going for the Vanguard, right? It just makes sense. Get rid of the lower health ship. He actually has the shores spotted. Shores radars him in a smoke screen, but it only takes a couple of shells for the black to kill the shores because shores is extremely low health. So, unfortunately, down goes shores. Now, he also managed in that exact moment to hit the freaking Vanguard with torpedoes while putting himself in position to yeet the shores. So again, not hating, dude ends up playing a pretty good game. You just need to be a little bit more aggressive in this scenario. But watch, the destroyer was last spotted in a smoke screen. He fires a couple of shots, and then immediately I get lit up, and he was heading towards the right. So we know the direction he's going. You can see I'm looking over there just in case he decides to fire his guns. He doesn't. Watch what the Jaeger does. You can tell Jaeger doesn't have twist and track or perceptive, and I don't even remember if it's possible for the Jaeger to have perceptive, but I think it does. If I remember correctly, I used it on the Jaeger, but these are the scenarios that you need that, right? Because it gives you the direction that the enemy is in. Instead, he goes by the last known position. He doesn't assume that that guy moves at all and doesn't use direction of his last direction of travel to kind of figure out which direction he's going in, as the Vanguard now burns to death from the USS Black. So at this point, you can see I'm going to start turning towards the right. I know this destroyer is heading towards the right. I didn't know exactly how far right he's heading, but I know he's out there, and I'm thinking, okay, well, if I stay here, I've got a reload booster ready. The Jaeger, if he does end up spotting this guy, which is unlikely because he's driving straight for the smoke screen instead of trying to cut him off. Sorry. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, and I haven't been to bed yet, so I apologize. But anyway, as he tries to, get away from this area, our destroyer's just not paying it. He has no idea where this guy's at. And you can see I'm starting to turn. The guys behind me are just following the Jaeger because they're not using their brain cells either. And as we turn back in, you can see I'm going to get to a point where, I'm trying to guess roughly where he's at, and I end up off by about a grid square here because he's going to get spotted right as he goes behind the island to my right. He is putting himself in position to go behind the island, right? Atlanta activates its sonar, and this is the same Atlanta that was so useful on the other side of the map, so I don't anticipate a whole lot of help there, but USS Black does fire his guns at the Atlanta and gets behind the island. I don't have a clean shot. What I do have is the ability to potentially put myself in position to catch him off guard as he comes around the corner, right? So last known for him on me was going the other direction. But at this point, he can't turn left. He's stuck between the islands. So this is my one chance to catch up to the guy as a battleship, right? So nonetheless, we come around the corner. He gets us spotted initially, and then he's going to pop up and get spotted pretty shortly. And when he does, I have my HE already loaded, and I have my reload booster. I hit the reload, but unfortunately, as soon as we hit the man, the game ends on points. And that is tragedy. Tragedy. But we did okay. 2,700 damage, or 2,700 XP with 150,000 damage or so. We did everything that we needed to do and had a pretty epic shot there on the blind fire on the Borodino. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, I will see you in the next video.